So, you want to travel to Italy, hey? So does everyone else. See, that's the problem with travel. It's a giant herd mentality. We're all being served up these juicy, vibrant photos of the Duomo. We're seeing the sweet, sweet nectar of that aerial footage over Cinque Terre. And we think that that picture-perfect moment is a reality. But let me tell you, it's nothing more than a front, an overrated destination.
My goal with today's video is to show you where you really want to go and where you really don't. At this point, I've traveled Rome, Positano, Napoli. I just wrapped up a super chill Sicilian road trip, but now it's time to embark on the northern road trip to take you where the Instagrammers flock. I need to show you the reality of Milan, Portofino, and also behind the scenes of a lot of Italy.
And to do so, we've brought together the finest and most critical minds in travel. Starting with my super humble self, Ruby. Oh, and Alex came too.
So we got a lot to talk about. Let's get started.
So Milano is one of the most visited places in all of Italy, but we are not part of the herd. So let's find out if you should actually come. To make the most of this analysis, I've broken down my week in Milan into a few key pieces. The first is food. And we started out pretty strong with one of my favorite coffee shops I think I've ever been to.
Get it? Now do you get it?
Okay, I might be a little biased, but the coffee was phenomenal and the pizza nearly got Ruby kicked out.
We should definitely get the pizza and yeah, focaccia.
Do you want me to kick her out? I can kick her out. Yeah. Please leave.
I already made a mistake.
But of course, we're in Italy, home to gelato. When in Milan, do as the Milanians do. And so we got one here, and I'll let Ruby share her thoughts.
Oh my God. Everything is amazing here in Italy.
Also, Alex, heavenly. This is what Ruby does before even it hits her taste buds. Just like, oh, delicious.
But while the gelato definitely slapped, I'm not gonna lie, the average meal over that week was okay. It was good at times, but it wasn't exceptional. I expected a lot more. In my humble opinion, it had nothing on Rome. Rome is a city where you literally fall onto amazing food. But luckily, Ruby and I, oh, and Alex, had a complete redemption meal after being invited out by an awesome couple on Instagram. They brought us to a restaurant by the name of Donjo. This is what I'm talking about. The kind of place the locals would rave about. If I had to pick one restaurant from our entire time in Milan, this was it. But of course, this would not be a comprehensive food review of Milan without visiting Starbucks.
This is one of the most giant, lavish Starbuckses.
But of course, Milan cannot be exclusively judged by its food. Milano is the mecca of fashion. And trust me, I know a thing or two about fashion. You should see how I dress here in Bali. To really get the essence of the fashion scene, we went to the iconic Galleria Vittorio, which is basically like this open concept mall with beautiful tile work, a massive glass top dome. And while there are dozens of shops, I'm not so sure many people are actually shopping. Most people are just here for the iconic gram, and I am one of them. Luckily, that's not where it ended. Ruby took us on an authentic shopping experience where third wheel Alex and I sat on the man chairs.
What do we think? Do we like? Okay, baby, do you like?
What do you think, Alex? How are you rating it?
Baby, do you like it? I like it.
Bless Alex's soul. He was waiting for a girl that's not even his. Now, while I'm not much of a fashionista, I am into another form of design that is very, very famous in Milan, and that is interior design. Basically, fashion for your home. And the reason I actually came to Milano was because I was here for Salone del Mobile, which is basically a runway show for couches and chairs. In my 3 days roaming Salone, I saw the Ferrari of kitchen countertops. I saw the Lamborghini of lighting, and I was reminded that in Italy, a couch costs as much as a car. As I'm currently in the middle of building my dream home, this was something of an art gallery for me, and I actually had a lot of fun. But after seeing a bar stool that cost about $5,000, I realized the only thing coming back to Bali with me was a lot of inspiration. So we tried the food scene, we experienced the design scene, but we still had a little bit more of Milan's culture to try out, and what I was warned of was actually very accurate. You see, I was warned that Milan was one of the coldest parts of Italy, And I'm not talking about the temperature. Milan is basically the corporate headquarters of the country. And while Italians normally live a bit of a slow-paced way of life, Milan is fast. And my average interaction with the locals was nothing noteworthy. In fact, I felt most people looked right through me. But let me just say, there's a lot of beautiful sights. You got the old school architecture, you've got the Duomo, but you've also got a lot of crowds. And don't get me wrong, I can have a lot of fun in crowded places.
We need a little applause, you know, encourage, go! Yay!
But it's usually not a positive aspect to any travel. You see, as I spent more time in Milano, I felt like the traditional Italian ways were a little bit muted. And as a traveler, I was left feeling like other parts of Italy just gave me more of an Italian experience. The average person here is either busy on their way to work or they're a tourist like me. But you can still find amazing experiences, and one for the books had to have been here.
Surprise!
I'm so excited.
Frankly, I didn't really enjoy the play, but check that one off the books.
So, is Milano overrated? I'd say not completely. Look, as far as Italian cities that I visited, it's probably the least interesting for me. It's got a little bit of that fast-paced commercial energy, a bit of a snobbery in the air. Most Italians will tell you Milan thinks very highly of itself, and it's not the authentic Italy that you're looking for. The food, although can be good, has, in my opinion, nothing on Rome. If you want culture and history, again, you can't beat Rome, and I particularly enjoyed my time in Catania on my southern trip. Milano is low-key overrated, but only because Italy has so much to offer outside of Milan. But if getting a photo here matters to you and you're willing to wake up at 5 a.m. to skip the crowds, then be my guest. Today, Milano, you're not my main culprit, but just you wait. We got a real catfish on our hands here, and I don't want to see you getting bamboozled, just like the rest of us.
A 3-hour train ride later, we had made it. Goodbye city life, and hello beautiful coastal living. This is Portofino. Well, technically it's actually not. This is Margarita, because Portofino was wildly expensive. So we stayed by the train station just 20 minutes away. Alex took his third wheeling to a whole new level and shared a room with Ruby and I for $250. Not much of a bargain, but cheaper than Portofino. But Margarita was honestly a bit of a catch. Super cute, colorful town with a laid-back energy to it. It was really refreshing after Milan.
All right, are you a city guy or are you a coastline guy?
You know, I was a city guy about 10 minutes ago before we arrived, but now everything changes. Everything.
This is definitely outshining Milan for me. And the weather is just perfect.
But it was time to see the world-famous Portofino, so we hopped in this super flashy taxi, and I watched the meter climb $1 every 12 seconds.
45 euro cab ride later.
The colors of Portofino, immaculate. The vibes, immaculate. Ruby's outfit, immaculate.
I do love Italy. I heard they do a mean margarita pizza. Oh, that's a handsome man. Hello. So these guys right here I've just met. And they've been traveling the world. How? 2 months today?
2 months today. 2-month anniversary. We still have about 7 more months to go.
Heck yeah.
17 countries.
We wanted to live instead of exist.
Ooh, that's a tattoo right there.
Yeah.
That has to be the best part about this YouTube channel, is seeing the people behind the views. They were just telling me a big part of the reason they planned out this 9-month trip was because of the videos on this channel. Going back in the day when I picked up my camera, I never could have even for a second fathomed that GoPro and that first little story and that awkward dude in front of a camera that really felt like he had no place being there could one day lead to a world of impact, and it's by far the best part out of any of this.
If you've ever thought, I wonder if I can make a living as a creator, just know that if that dude can do it, so can you. Literally anyone can. I've seen it time and time again through Lost Creator Academy. From Will Tevz that quadrupled his income the moment he came in. From Ishan that joined LCA without a single channel and fast forward a year picked me up in this. And to Mana that in just 1 year went from 0 to having a 6-figure income as a creator. If you have been sitting on the sidelines watching others build out their dream lives while you're working a job that you can't stand, Now is the time to make a stand. And I have some good news. After a nearly half-year waiting list to get into our new and improved creator program, we are taking new applications for LCA. So if you want to learn how a guy like me was able to build a life like this, and if you want to have a one-on-one chat with one of our creator success coaches, then all you got to do is check that link down below, submit that application, and my team and I will help you through the next steps. Don't wait to build your dream life when you can literally get started on it today. But let's get back to Italy, because there's some stuff you really gotta see before booking that trip. So, remember Camille and Manu? Well, it just so happened they too were looking to escape Milan. So, we met them for a boardwalk lunch, but unlike our last meal, this would not be one we celebrated. This meal was tragic.
So I just learned something new. Apparently there's a fee called coperto, the cutlery fee, which is, I mean, it's €5, but it's a seating fee for a restaurant where a drink was 15 euros, a lasagna with no lasagna was 20 euros. All in all, 52 euros a person. I don't know about that one.
After eating, Ruby insisted we go and find some gelato, and here's what she had to say about it.
Oh my god. My taste buds are literally dancing and tingling. It's insane.
And afterwards, it was time to head up the hill to burn off some of that and visit Castello Brown up on the hilltop.
It's only about a 5-minute walk away, but after all that gelato, it feels a little more. So in the end, we had to pay $5 to get into Castello Brown, but then again, I did pay $5 for my cutlery. So I'm feeling pretty good about that, and I feel even better because I just heard, guess what we're getting? Aperol Spritz. Woo. There you have it. Wow. This sailboat, let me just give you context this way. Now you got context. That is a freaking sailboat.
Wow.
That's a view.
Look, Portofino is very beautiful, and if you've got the money, you can get an amazing hotel right on the water, maybe have your own private beach access, and just sip Aperol all day basking in the sun. But other than relaxing, there isn't so much to do here, which can be okay. That might be your kind of getaway. Because it's such a small area, it's very expensive to stay in Portofino proper, but if you want to save a bit of money like we did, you can take a quick and easy bus, and 15 minutes later, you are in Margarita. And while Margarita is not a must-visit destination, it'll help you save money, and it does have great energy and a lot of beauty to it. Now, is Portofino overrated? And I think the answer is no, it's not. I think it's actually really, really pretty, but my favorite coastal city that I've seen so far in Italy is going to be Positano. Now, that might be hard to understand because Positano is both expensive, it's incredibly busy. So why Positano? Let me make it simple for you. Portofino is a solid 8. She could be a part-time model. She gets compliments every now and then. But Positano, she's a 9.2. She knows how to walk the walk, and she's got all the old men sliding in her DMs, inviting her to come on a yacht for the summer to enjoy the Cannes Film Festival, just to put it in context for you. But again, Portofino is not what left me emotionally damaged. The hurt was just about to begin as we lugged our luggage all the way back to the Railroad of Despair. Welcome to Cinque Terre, a place so beautiful that simply posting a photo of it gets you instantly verified on Instagram. But what if I told you the name Cinque Terre isn't just a name, it's also its rating out of 10.
And we have made it to Cinque Terre, and this is one of our beautiful stops here. So we've taken the train from Levanto, and from there there's like 5 different train stops leading to the 5 lands. Apparently Cinque Terre is not one place, it's quite literally 5 of them. And this is Rio Maggiore, which is, oh no, the Italians are laughing, I'm saying it wrong. Now this is what makes this coastline so famous, is these beautiful pastel buildings, and using the train you can get around pretty affordably. It was like €5. You can visit all 5 of them by stopping at the different stations, and today we're gonna focus in these few remaining hours of sun on Rio Maggiore. Rio Maggiore. Now, one thing that we're seeing everywhere is people dressed up with full hiking attire, and we just discovered that there's a lot of nearby hiking. I don't think he's supposed to be doing this. This is just a random man breaking out an opera.
This man is underrated. Now it may seem like everything was going well. We had Aperol, Ruby had a big poofy pink dress, but you see, Alex still had nobody to hold his hand. And Cinque Terre was far from relationship material. I gotta show you the real Cinque Terre.
This is the line to get back on the train.
The crazy thing is, this isn't even summer. This is April 24th, 2023. We couldn't get a seat to save our lives in any restaurants reviewed above 3 stars. And we also couldn't rent a Vespa to go and explore the area. Those are booked out till 2024.
It hurts. I don't know who it was, but somebody leaked this destination and the word is out. The whole world knows about Cinque Terre. When I visited, it was tough to feel the charm. It was hard to get around.
It's so busy.
I don't like it.
What's our game plan right now?
Yo, we just need to find some openings so we can get us some grub because I'm starving and I'm literally gonna die if I don't eat right this second. And I don't even know why I'm rapping right now. And it's actually kind of cool, so go pal.
I mean, we all have different definitions of cool.
If I'm on vacation, this isn't what I want to deal with. I don't want to travel somewhere just because it makes for a beautiful drone shot. That's kind of what this place felt like for me. This isn't a new story. Places that are fantastic become overridden with visitors because we all want to experience them. But at a certain point, it starts to degrade the experience. And that was definitely the case here. And look, the truth is, this is also the case with Positano. You're gonna deal with crowds, lines in the popular restaurants, extremely high prices, but for me there was a little bit more of a charm to Positano. There was a bit more of a wow factor. So if you're willing to deal with the prices and the crowds, I would pick Positano, hands down. In Positano, you feel like you're flying above the ocean as you climb up the mountains, but in Cinque Terre, it felt like a lot of bottlenecks and choke points. The amount of area that actually faced the water was usually just one narrow corridor, and that area was shoulder to shoulder. And because I don't think you understand it yet, look, Positano, she's a 9.2. She flies private, and yes, she's front row at the Cannes Film Festival. Cinque Terre, well, she's being invited, but she's in business class. But you might be wondering, isn't so much of Italy dealing with overcrowding, over-tourism? And the answer is yes, I mean it is. Rome is also packed. You go to Trevi Fountains, the Spanish Steps, you're gonna deal with crowds. But there's a lot of things to do. You don't just go for that one view. And I think that's the main differentiator. But let me just say, I don't want you to leave thinking of Italy with a sour taste because there's actually a lot of delicious tastes in Italy.
Oh my God.
After watching this, if you still feel the need to go here, well, you should stay here.
So this is Levanto. Not quite as visually astonishing as Cinque Terre, but if your goal is to experience the real side where the Italians would live, to experience the food, then you still have all of that here without the crowds. It's much better to take the train in to visit the beautiful places like Cinque Terre and then come back to a place like this where you've got a bit more of the local vibe. Levanto's pretty cool.
And this is time for the redemption arc. But first I want to say, if you are someone that hates crowds, wants to have a bit more of a unique experience, I really enjoyed Sicily. And as I said, I've done a full road trip video where you can see a bit of Sicily. If you go to somewhere like Catania, you'll get history, you'll get the beauty, the charm, but without all the crowds. You can have nearby coastal experiences similar to that of Positano by staying in a place like Taormina. She's like an 8.2. Okay, I'm gonna stop. And if you really want a quiet getaway, go to Scapello, go to San Vito Lo Capo. These are areas where not that many people are going right now until this video is posted. But now let me show you why one of my favorite cities in the world is none other than Rome. And the cool thing about this trip was I got to share it with Ruby's family, which was a big first. Our first few days involved your typical sightseeing, visiting the Colosseum, a quick stop to the Vatican City to admire the Pope's drip, Trevi, Spanish Steps. From there, a quick cooking class with Ruby and her family. We used a company called Rome with Chef and learned how to make some delicious pasta, and we made our own Aperol Spritz. Look, food and history is the cornerstone of this city, and the next day, we got a full food tour with Stephanie.
Stephanie is half Brazilian, half Italian, and she is going to be our eyes and ears to Trastevere.
Trastevere.
Stephanie said it's all in the hand. You've got to release the energy like the Italians do. Trastevere.
Was that good?
Bravo, bravissimo, very good.
Thank you.
She took us down the alleyways, gave us some samples of some of the most famous restaurants, and ended it with gelato, like all good days. Now, the most underrated part of Rome is renting one of these.
All right, the best way to get around Rome is a Lime scooter.
So much fun.
Seriously, the best way to get around.
There's no better way to see all of the hidden gems because not everything is gonna show up in a top 10 blog. There's so much beauty in these alleys, these streets, and sometimes you just wanna pull over and stop and try the food. Rome is a city I could see myself living in from time to time. And what's cool is only an hour and a half later, you can take a train and be in Napoli. A half hour from Naples brings you to Pompeii, the famous volcanic explosion that led to one of the biggest bangers of all time. And 1 hour or so later, Positano. So this entire region really shapes up to give you an epic Italian adventure. Now, to make any Rome trip complete, there was one cherry on top that was needed.
I couldn't leave Rome without doing one last thing. So back in 2019, there was a particular experience that really was like a core memory. One of the most fun I've ever had in the kitchen. And today, I want to reintroduce you to the people behind Local Aromas. We got Valeria, we've got Benne, and Margarita. And today they're showing us, again, how to prepare some amazing Roman dishes. What are we having?
We're having, obviously, a Prosecco.
Of course, yeah.
Obviously, as a good aperitivo. Then you guys prepared some bruschette, and we're having some salami and formaggio.
And this must be mine. The olive oil comes from these trees?
Yes.
So one of the things that makes this experience so special is that Valeria is actually a professional pastry chef. On the other hand, Benne is a sommelier. And together they bring their skills, their expertises to make the finest food. So I'm freestyling here. Take a little note. This is the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
The burst of flavor.
I don't want to leave.
So this is red roses, this is cherries, like really mature cherries.
So my question is, they don't put these things
Must be
in
red.
them.
Italy has so much more than one video could ever show you, but that was my best attempt. I still need to get back and see Puglia, what is said to be the hidden gem of Italy. I'm dying to do a Dolomites road trip, and I think that's probably what's coming next summer. So I hope it avoids you having moments like this and allows you to have more moments like this on your trips, and let's get lost again in the next one.